Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. As you can see, today's video is another beauty history, and because it is Black History Month, hello, it only makes sense to talk about Black beauty brand history. So if you guys want to know more, let's go. Now, I did come to a sad conclusion after looking up the information for this video, but I'll talk about that at the end of the video. Now, when I say OG Black beauty brands, I mean like OG. Okay, of course we know the, Mented, Danessa Myricks. We've got some new and some that are a little older. Like you might think, Fenty Beauty, they came out like 2017, so a little old, but no, I'm talking old. The OGs, like what your mother probably had when it came to brands that would be at the forefront of having products for her skin tone, those brands. Okay, so first up is Iman Cosmetics. It was founded in 1994. The brand is as old as I am. And of course, the founder and CEO is Iman, the supermodel. So she started the brand because if you know anything about the fashion industry, about models, when it comes to commercial runway fashion, baby, it's rough. It's rough. I've done a couple shoots for brands before as a model, and I've done story times on them because at almost every single one, if it wasn't my hair, it was the makeup, and that's present. Like that's present time right now that they're still struggling. They're still having to do their makeup themselves, bring their own makeup because the makeup artists that are hired for these sets, they just cannot do makeup or hair for deeper complexions, for 4C hair. So imagine when Iman was talking peak Iman. So she started the brand because obviously she saw the lack of diversity, she saw the lack of inclusion when it comes to makeup brands, and she has been behind the scenes mixing and creating shades for herself for years. So that's when she came out with it. I have tried some of the products from the brand. Now, by the time I had tried the brand, it definitely was not like the brand at its peak, right? And you'll notice that with a lot of Black owned makeup brands that they'll have their peak where it's like, yes, there's this new brand, they've got all these products meant for our skin. And remember, the time when this brand came out, and then as time goes on, it just kind of fizzles out, and then we get to the point where these brands end up selling to someone else or they end up going out of business. So today in 2025, if you try to go to Iman's website, the website does not work anymore. They have not posted on their Instagram since 2020, and you can only get like whatever remaining products that they've come out with in the past through like third-party sellers, Amazon, Walmart, stuff like that. And of course the price is jacked up, like $30, stuff like that. So not a brand that's around anymore. Okay, up next we have Fashion Fair Cosmetics. It was founded in 1973 by Eunice Johnson, who was the wife of John H. Johnson, the founder of Ebony magazine. Black excellence all around. Fashion Fair was the first Black-owned cosmetic line that obviously, catered to deeper complexions to be sold globally in luxury retail stores. First one. Of course, the brand was featured in ads. Like I just said, they were in luxury retail. So that was, do y'all know that a popular saying for Clinique is that it's not just a counter brand, but it's also your mom's brand. Like it was the brand when you used to go to the counter store with your mom that your mom would purchase. For a lot of the girls, that was Fashion Fair, especially if you consider Clinique shades around that time. Fashion Fair was that brand that you would go to the counter and your mom was wearing Fashion Fair, or you were in high school, you were in college, you were purchasing Fashion Fair. Like that was that girl, that brand. Now the brand did file for bankruptcy in 2018. However, and I'm gonna try to see if I can have the video pop up here, they did rebrand, they did make a comeback in 2021, 22, 21. 22, 21. The brand is back. You can also get them at Sephora, and they are giving the same we pay attention when it comes to complexion that they've been since 1973. The primer is really good from them. The setting powder, very good from them. Looking at the products just off the top of my head. I tried the foundation, right? I tried the foundation stick. I tried the foundation stick. I didn't try the foundation powder, but it is one that is still available. So if you are looking for a brand and you didn't know about them, now you do, and it's available. Okay, up next we have AJ Crimson Beauty. It was founded in 2013 by celebrity makeup artist AJ Crimson. He is a celebrity makeup artist that has worked with the likes of Raven-Symoné, the star of Disney, Brandy, a lot of the girlies, a lot of our faves. back in the day. He had shops in Los Angeles, New York City, and Detroit. And again, the line was started, which is why a majority of these lines are started. You know, when everyone says, well, if you can't find something for yourself, make it yourself. If you see a lack of something, instead of complaining, instead of begging everyone to include you, go ahead and make it yourself. That's why a lot of these brands were started. And you see it, they're started by professionals who are in the industry, and they see how hard it is for women in the industry, models, actresses, singers, all that stuff. So they have the resources, they have the experience, they go ahead and they start it themselves. Likewise, as you would imagine, being a celebrity makeup artist, trying to get these people ready, saw that there was a lack of shade range, a lack of inclusivity, just a lack of all of that. So he started his business. Now, unfortunately, AJ Crimson did pass away in 2022. Yes, his passing was confirmed March 30th of 2022, and he was only 27 years old, so certainly lost him way too soon. So as you would imagine, as of 2025, of course, AJ's Instagram hasn't been, you know, sometimes after people's passing, like someone, the estate, whoever it may be, will continue running their page, posting throwbacks, or in this case, like posting old makeup videos, but it hasn't been updated since 2022. If you try to go to the AJ Crimson sites, it redirects you. And the products that are still available, kind of similar to Iman Cosmetics, you can just find them through third-party sellers. Friends Beauty seems to be one that still sells some products. Riot Beauty seems to still sell some of their products, and I think Amazon might have some of their products as well. So very unfortunate. Okay, now this next one, I've actually been doing this whole content creation thing long enough that y'all actually might remember what I'm about to say, but the next brand is Blackup. It was founded in 1999. And here's where things get shaky, because it was founded in 1999 by Fabrice Mahabo. But if y'all remember, I want to say it was like it had to be like 2015, 2016, something like that. Blackup was available at Sephora, and people were like, hey, here's this black owned makeup brand that you can get at Sephora. And I don't know if you guys remember, but like shortly after that, people were like, wait a minute, actually that company booted the black owner out of the company. Do y'all remember that? If you don't remember the rundown, I'm going to read through this rundown that I found about it, because I was like, something was off here. But anyway, after graduating from Makeup Academy, Mahabo started Godo Blackup, which is now just known as Blackup, in 1999, and it was named after his late father, Godo Zaleba Kwalame. I'm so sorry. He submits his idea to a partner who agreed to go into business with him. This partner is responsible for administrative and legal matters. Interestingly enough, he never reveals the name of this partner. Mahabo owns 60% of the shares, while his partner has 30%. They have a starting capital of $7,500, which would be $8,421 now. By 2004, the company has made over 230 sales. The brand is rapidly expanding. Unfortunately, neither Mahabo nor his partner can secure the money needed to take Blackup to the next level. In response, the partner, who remained unnamed throughout this, proves to be unscrupulous, brings aboard a private angel investor to help. This investor is actually a partner, unbeknownst to Mahabo at the time. He never consented to this change of events. Artistry and management suffer due to the new shareholder. Meetings are no longer held at the Blackup headquarters. Mahabo is no longer invited to these meetings, but he continues to submit his ideas to the new shareholder, who is not interested as he has created a new team. Mahabo is demoted from general manager to employee status. Mahabo is wrongly terminated from the company in 2007, shortly after he is arrested and detained by police for 24 hours without probable cause. He receives a final settlement of 620 euros, which he refuses to cash as he never signed over ownership. During this time, the company still uses his likeness and name up until February 2009, in which he was completely erased from Blackup's history. His shares are diluted from 60% to 3.8%. Mahabo valiantly initiates legal proceedings against his partners. He is met with intimidation, threats, and blackmail. And that is allegedly how he is boosted out of the company. And it wasn't until I started, again, getting ready for this video that I was like, I remember that. And mind you, once everyone found that out, they were like, oh, y'all can keep that. Like, it was so quick the way people were like, oh, this brand at Sephora, and then people were like, oh no, oh no. And yeah, I believe the brand is kind of similar to the other brands that I mentioned. Not at Sephora anymore and not Black owned anymore. Okay, and the last brand that I have to talk about today, I don't believe started out as a Black owned business, but it's Black owned today and it is an OG. So I'm like, I feel like, you know, we can go ahead and slide that in. That is Black Opal. It was founded in 1994 by a chemist. The founder worked closely with an African-American dermatologist. What does that sound? My bad, y'all. I don't know what that sound is. So the founder worked closely with an African-American dermatologist to develop the product line. And I feel like Black Opal is another one that like most of the people watching this video are like, oh, okay, all right. I've been around long enough for Black Opal. But if you haven't, that is a brand you really should not sleep on. Like even before they did the whole rebrand stuff like that. And I'm thinking, you know, like my time frame, especially when I was getting into makeup, stuff like that, I'm around 20, 21-ish. I'm in college. That was one of the brands that was getting me through college. Like Black Opal, now it's not Black owned, but their products were more so, you know, focused for women of color. Black Radiance, y'all remember that contour palette Black Radiance had? Black Radiance, Black Opal, CoverGirl Queen, like those were the brands that they got me through those times, like, you know, when I was in college, for nights out, stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of people can relate. They did, like I said, they did have to rebrand because kind of like every other brand mentioned, they did fizzle out a little bit. But when they did rebrand and they came back, first of all, the products were still A1. So when they can rebrand and bring their products back and they're still good, that's a good thing. But they also came back and they were then Black owned. So Black Opal is today Black owned, and it's a brand that's existed since 94, again, as old as I am. So definitely one to check out because their stuff is good. And it's Black Opal. It's available at the drugstore. It's affordable. And yeah, y'all, that was the last one that I had to talk about. And that's why I said, like, it was actually kind of sad when I thought about it doing this video, because when you think about it, you know, the L'Oreals, the Maybellines, the Lancomes, the Elfs, the NYX, I sat down and did a video on Black makeup brands. And, you know, when we think about how much time we've had, 5. And mind you, I asked my friend who's a little bit older than me, and, you know, she's thinking about the brands that she had growing up and stuff like that. The fact that there aren't many, and here we are almost, you know, 30 years old for some of them, and a lot of them don't exist anymore. A lot of them struggled, had to file bankruptcy, had to do this and the third, had to sell or, you know, get new owners, stuff like that. When you think about that, and then you also look at today's Black owned makeup brands, it's sad because we're not that far removed and not much has changed. There really is no that like long lasting, it's a legacy brand like an Estee Lauder type thing. Last year, 2024, I think I lost count of how many videos I had to do about a Black owned makeup brand going out of business. Colored Rain, I believe Mented and Uma were purchased by someone else, but they had to sell. There was Beauty Bakery, but that one's coming back. And like really mainstream brands that we have right now are, you know, Danessa Myricks, Pat McGrath, Juvia's Place. Serena Williams started her line last year, but even Serena was talking about how it is hard for Black beauty brands to get funding. And that's why like it'd be irritating me when I'm talking about, you know, what the brands are going through, and people are like, well, Black owned brands, black brands, black. Babe, like, what part of it's a disadvantage are we not getting? It's not a sob story. It's literally just reality. Like it's not the same. They're not going to produce the same as L'Oreal. They're not going to be available like L'Oreal. And when they don't have those advantages that the other ones do, that's how we end up 30 years from now. Someone will be doing a story like this talking about the OGs like Uma, Beauty Bakery, and Colored Rain, and how they don't exist anymore. That's how we continue with this cycle. So I'll always be saying, can we be a little mindful? Just a little mindful. But last time I said it, they started calling me a bully, saying I was trying to bully people to support Black owned brands. Y'all is so unserious. All right, y'all, so that is it for this video. Let me know of any OG black owned brands that I might have missed. I did want to do a video on some brands that y'all might not know exist. So let me know if you guys want to see that video, and yeah, make sure to thumbs up, comment, subscribe, turn notification bells down below. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.